this one. And the gauntlet has been thrown, I think, for Myrwn and for Nako. The Jayce a confident pick, but right now it's Jojopyun caught out. He's not able to stop Lyncas, who's just gone exactly where he wanted to, into the enemy jungle to pick up an early kill. And well, there was some koi chance, but they've been cut short.
What just I was looking at the PC for
you
1 second.
So we didn't see it either, bro. We didn't see it either.
Okay.
We'll see the replay here. I mean, I think Jojo just dies?
Money.
Yeah, he just...
Oh my goodness.
That has to be a scouting thing. They have seen that Jojo has just walked into that bush, so they knew the timing. Lyncas gets the cue.
Crazy. I can't... That's really shocking.
Yeah. I mean, I think we really need to give some props to Vitality coaching staff. First of all, that scouting and how they navigated the draft. When you have flex picks like this, that's when it's difficult to get a really good draft. But pulling out the Jayce, sending it now top lane with the Ignite, with the Electrocute, I mean, they came here ready to play.
I love that point. I think it's super valuable. Having cast pros for the last 10 years, you'll ask them that question about the scouting, and they'll go, no, which is what
I mean, sometimes
we're gonna run the replay, and the comms are just gonna be Carzzy going,
on some teams, I remember we had an analyst that would always look at what people did level 1.
And I will assume that that is the case.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes a lot of people have like very normal level 1s that don't do anything, but it doesn't surprise me that Jojo maybe is one to be a little bit too cocky level 1, and that's something you can look to abuse.
But I mean, shout out to the Vitality coaching staff until otherwise notified. But so far, Vitality off to a good start, and the kill goes over to Carzzy as well. So good stuff happening for Vitality here in the early game.
Now the important thing is that Carzzy hasn't got to spend any of that money from the kill, so it hasn't helped the individual 2v2 lane matchup. But as we look topside, the range advantage you mentioned before, Vedius, in the context as a head versus Jayce, in the context of Jayce versus anyone, honestly, looks like it's, working out pretty well for the Jayce.
And I really want to talk about this top lane matchup, because the last time we saw them play against each other, it was not a good look for Myrwn. Nako absolutely dumpstered him in the 1v1, even getting 2 solo kills.
And I think Nako's looking to repeat the recipe today. He has Electrocute, he has the Ignite, he's already pushing Myrwn in, so all he really needs is one more good trade, and then with that Electrocute proc and with the Ignite, he's going to be able to take him down. I mean, you see this damage. Myrwn has to be real careful here. He's able to sustain up slowly with that Dorn's shield.
Credit to Myrwn, he's still at 15 CS, but that felt brutal. I felt like that he was being denied every bit of farm. His HP has been brutalized. He's going to go back for an early base, TP into top lane, and
picked up a cloth armor already.
I mean, you kind of need it. You kind of need it.
Well, despite going down early, Jojo's still taking control of the mid lane matchup early on. A nice flick onto Humanoid gives him a huge health advantage. Ward in the brush is going to spot Elyoya on the approach.
Nice awareness.
But no angle for a W flash in mid lane to maybe try and stop the back.
Yeah, I like it because in terms of the pathing, Lyncas recognizes he can't contest the bot crab. He knows he doesn't have bot pro, he doesn't have mid pro, so he paths back up towards top side. And Humanoid is saying, well, I might get dove mid, so I'll ward over the wall. And again, we're seeing Jojo on this matchup. The Taliya he plays so aggressively. Getting that early jungle support is super common for him to get. So good awareness from Humanoid, but also nice advantage being built for Jojo in the mid.
Nako trying to extend this trade. Has to be careful as Myrwn, even without a great opportunity to back, only picking up the cloth armor, does look to be doing a little bit of work here.
And Lyncas here was able to pick up a early ward in enemy jungle, so that's why Nako knows that Elyoya is here, because his jungler is telling him the fact that Elyoya is not on the Gromp means that he has to be topside. So really helping out his topside here a lot from Lyncas.
The flick connecting on the Humanoid. Now at level 5, he at least can trade back a little bit more effectively, but needs to be careful, especially get closer to level 6. Elyoya could be lurking, waiting in the darkness. Supports opening up mid for a brief moment as Alvaro poking his head in, seeing if there's an angle for a gank, or at least to support a push out here from Jojo.
So we did talk about Carzzy having actual access to that gold. Now he's gone and spent it. Phage and Tyr coming back to base. Nice, what's the word I'm looking for? Trajectory, isn't it? But I'm going to use it. Nice trajectory towards the Trinity Force.
Well, it's like a luxury, right? Because normally you feel like you put yourself behind when you buy the tier, but essentially you got a free tier off that level 1.
And a completed item.
And
or a component, I should say.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure, it's a nice situation to be in. Across the board, though, like, CS isn't too bad. Gold, the same vein. It felt like Nako was really bullying Myrwn, but he's staying within 70 gold of his opponent. And in mids, Humanoid feels like he's being bullied a lot, but in terms of the gold, it's very similar as well. So overall, a very even early game, with the only difference being that first blood that Vitality was able to secure.
Third strike prepped there from Elyoya on the Krugs, just in case Alvaro was going to find the angle, but Fleshy as well as Lyncas backing away, giving that respect, and a pretty quiet early game after that initial kill. Neither side has gone for the Drakes quite yet. As Humanoid now trying to make a play. Quick flashback from Jojo. And now if Humanoid's able to make it out, this is a pretty positive exchange for the side of Vitality as the flash forward, the initial briefcase not connecting. But again, Lyncas can't really be stopped, but also doesn't want to over push here as on the bottom side. A quick portal will take Fleshy out.
Yeah, the briefcase were not landing as Jojo loses his flash to Humanoid's shuffle, but Lyncas ends up trading it as well. And both junglers here just kind of having a stare-down competition. But I think this early game, even though it's Vitality with the early gold lead, I really favor it for MKOI, since they have the more scaling composition, the losing bot lane with the Alistar, and this Zaahan into the Jayce as well. Myrwn has done a great job weathering the storm. So I'm very happy with them thus far.
And this is one of the reasons why we're kind of surprised to see top Jayce, right? Is we know top lane Jayce is an excellent pick, but to really push the leads, to really get the most out of this champion is something that European top laners, as long as we have been a region, have struggled to do. So pressure on Nako, obviously looking like one of the best tops in our league, but his choice, getting punished by Myrwn as he goes all in here with the ulti, but won't be able to get much else.
A really nice trade from Myrwn, and now that HP is low enough that he could even threaten a dive. Jungle intervention is something that he has to be concerned about. That's why Lyncas is here right now. But plate secured for Myrwn. He's going to be happy with that. Nicely done. And now that goal difference it's really not going to mean anything. So credit to him. Nako, we could see how much he was bullying in the other game. Not really resulted in a huge amount.
And that's kind of the downside Nako runs into here without the teleport. You see that he's still just sitting on the longsword and the boots of speed. Finally, he's going to be able to base now, but it's much overdue. And if he had that TP, he could have based much faster and gotten that early gold lead utilized. But now it's plated steel caps on Myrwn, Ruby Crystal as well. Really hard for Nako to try to punish any sort of lead.
You're completely right. Great itemization into that early armor penetration. So Myrwn should feel a lot more comfortable. Of course, actually closing the gap against the Jayce still not going to be the easiest thing in the world. But hey, having tier 2 boots is going to help at the very least a little bit.
And I'm just going to say, remember you had your one niche complaint point about Ahri getting 10 extra AP.
Tell me.
I want them to show how much damage plated steel caps have blocked.
That would be nice.
Because my assumption is it's way bigger than most people expect, and if they put the number on there, everyone will buy the item, even when it's not correct.
That's fair.
I've heard so many Draven mains with that conspiracy theory.
Good pullback comes in from Myrwn, starting to trade a little bit better.
Ooh, not a great trade for Myrwn. That was, oh, look at that.
Good spacing.
The spacing, yeah. Back then, I also thought that word used to be a meme used by many pros, but I feel like
spacing?
Yeah, I mean...
No, it's serious.
No, obviously nowadays it is, but when it was first used, I felt like it was a bit disingenuous.
No.
It was many years ago, admittedly. In any case,
not so good spacing, unconcerned.
He's
a lot of healing coming in. No, he's ulted. He's managed to portal out as well. So Elyoya's getting chunked, forced to ult just to stop the next rocket from coming in and finishing the job. But now Alvaro's the one who's going to be in trouble.
Ooh.
Flash forward, manages to get the Q onto 3. Fleshy goes in and manages to get a kill back in return. Lyncas looks like he's set to fall. Supa's going to be able to grab the kill, but Humanoid has arrived. Pushback connecting onto Supa. Vitality looking to turn it into a 2-for-1.
MKOI end up falling short. That engage from Alvaro looked so promising, but Vitality turned it around. Ideally, you don't want the double buffs going over to Fleshy, but you know what? You will take it to win out on that skirmish. No objective gained off the back of it, just a bit of a scrap in the bot lane.
And it was Elyoya that started out the fight. Was now all.
Ooh, is he Ignite enough? I don't think it
so.
is.
No.
Oh,
On last take, not enough.
Just as a
It's like half a solo kill. 0.5.
You remember how we were... Oh, I'll hold that thought, because we can break down the spots after.
Okay, I mean, it starts off with Lyncas poking out Alvaro here, and then Alvaro ends up using the combo onto him. But this is Mundo. He goes where he pleases. He doesn't take too much damage, and he's out with the portal. But Elyoya gets so chunked, really doesn't want to burn that ultimate, but by the time he uses it, he's already so low that I think it's Fleshy that just flashes forward and kills him. And even though they're able to take down Lyncas, Supa here just isn't thinking that he's in range of the Azir ult, I think, so he ends up not flashing. And then he ends up going down as well. It's a 2-for-1 for Vitality.
yeah, I think with Flash, he probably could have lived in that position. But ultimately, he doesn't react to it in time, does pop the barrier, ends up falling short, and Vitality now lead the kills. The advantage isn't overwhelming. Note that Jojo has a pretty healthy lead in the mid lane matchup for the time being, thanks to that kill he did pick up. Supa going to be forced back as the Dragon will be started off by Vitality. Resets coming through from Koi means that it's going to be a little bit difficult for them to contest this objective.
Yeah, Supa also forced to ult, so despite having access to the flash, would rather just use the ultimate there, but it does mean that there's not a lot of fighting power right now for him, as he doesn't even have a completed item quite yet. And again, I think respect to Alvaro for trying to go for a play there, recognizes that Elyoya probably just dies on the retreat, but Elyoya also dying does really shift it in the favor of Vitality quite heavily. Checking back in on the top side, Nako starting again to build a bit of a CS lead for himself. No item completed here, but again, 100 gold difference really does not feel bad. For a Zaahan who's going to be able to dive into that backline with the power of an unstoppable ulti, I think you're fine being down just a bit of gold to a Jayce.
Yeah, I think especially once you get that stride breaker on the Zaahan, makes this matchup a lot easier. You can already see with that plated steel caps, he has an easier time dodging skill shots like we see there and just tanking up the damage in general. And Myrwn, even though he's down 10 CS, it's really not the end of the world for him. I think later on in team fights, it's going to come down to whether or not Nako, Humanoid, and Carzzy can poke out before MKOI can really engage.
Definitely something we're going to need to keep an eye on. Jojopyun staying relatively even in that mid lane matchup, has not been able to complete that first item. First completed items on the map are in the hands of both junglers, actually. The Sundered Sky as well as the Heartsteel. Sundered Sky, generally a stronger first item spike, I would say. The healing can just be ridiculous, but of course, Heartsteel over time. One, the dopamine of the stacks, as any Arian player will know, is absolutely peak, but also the scaling health feels excellent, as we've got a bit of a catch in the mid lane. Fleshy completely caught out. Instantaneous ulti to finish the job, coming in from Elyoya. Nice recognition of a pick opportunity there from MKOI.
Really nice pick. You can see that Alvaro is very keen to make stuff happen in this game. When we first started casting this iteration of this roster, one of the things we talked a lot about was that combination of Alvaro plus Elyoya. You can see it on full display right now. This duo is often in conjunction with one another. They like to make plays happen on the map. And with Jojo joining the roster, usually it happens around mid. So while there hasn't been a huge amount of proactivity, that right there was a brief glimpse of what they've been so good at in the past.
And what I really like about that play is that it opens up Jojo to roam just like this, to shut down now Nako.
Hoping for an extra plate, the Grim Deliverance now speeding off as he form swaps. Myrwn's running to catch the next wave.
Is he really out? He's just going to walk through tower like this?
Blast Cone connects the W, goes over the wall, flash, Blast Cone. Oh, no, Hex Flash. He's dead. He's surely, okay, they got him. It took a while, but they chased him down, they killed him. Good pick from MKOI, a bit delayed there, but Myrwn doesn't shift his focus, just goes right into the next wave, starts hitting it, wants to crash that into the tower, and now Vitality trying to make the response play on the bottom side, zoning Supa off a wave of farm.
Vitality are getting quite a bit in the cross map. Humanoid got 2 plates on mid, Carzzy getting plates on both, and Humanoid in on mid lane, already getting Jojo's flash here. Oh, dodges out on that W.
And that's the second time he's made that exact play where he sidesteps the follow-up shove, holds onto his own flash, and gets Jojo's flash just for the cost of the Emperor's Divide as Carzzy walking into Supa. Barrier there. But that's a completed Trinity Force, and that's not a spike you want to trade against.
That was a nice combo coming through from Carzzy. Yeah, one of the downsides of Mundo is it's hard to follow up on these ganks, especially against the Taliya. So I don't really blame Vitality for not being able to get much more out of it, but it does mean that with the Dragons in about a minute 48, I expect Humanoid's ult to be up around that time, and so the flash won't be. Which means that it's kind of a long-term investment ahead of the next objective that Vitality will definitely put a target on Jojo's back and say, maybe we can take this Taliya out of the fight quickly.
And it's an advantage that's being built almost entirely in isolation, which is just such a nice thing to have. You can't anticipate those advantages in 1v1s all the time, but just does give that extra edge to Vitality. The gold's slightly in their favor, but again, more about these first item completions, these first item spikes.
And while Azir shuffling the Taliya again once he has that up is nice, I think it's really all about that Tempered Fate from Fleshy. I think that's the target that you want to look for in the next team fight. Just look to Bard ulti at Jojo, as you might even look for it right now.
Fleshy on the way down, going forward, trying to get the initial slow from the passive. Doesn't even need to use the ultimate up here, but Humanoid
stunned himself.
Miscalculated there, but Fleshy's going to land the stun. Lyncas is going to grab the kill, and again, we're just seeing Jojo just get run down.
And normally I would say that you should hand your kill over to your mid laner, but I think Lyncas said, no, you don't deserve it after stunning yourself there, buddy. So the Mundo's going to take that one, and an easy pickup secured on the side lane. So credit to Humanoid, like, yes, he's been bullied in this matchup, but the growth that we've seen from Humanoid this split, I think has been super, super impressive. Because the first 2 weeks, this man was dying.
Yeah.
He was dying so much. Look at the ISO deaths in his week 1, 2. But look in this week 3 and 4. The improvement he's made is top lane. Looks like nothing too crazy. But yeah, love the improvement from him. But right now, it's all about top lane, as Koi is looking for another play.
Right as you
Alvaro.
try to make the point, Viti. The Caster Curse Classic, Alvaro going to get things kicked off. An initial exhaust going down on the Lyncas. It looked like Naak's there. He's using his ulti to heal. Temper Fade is there to stop the fall. Jojopyun now coming over the wall. Carzzy going in. He gets flicked back, but not into the minefield. Pushback comes in from Humanoid, who still has the ulti. Flash forward. 3-man pulverize is there from Alvaro. Supa in the midst of the entire fight, and he's starting to take over. Humanoid untouched for now, manages to turn it back. Uses the flashy save from before. Now needs to shift back over the wall. Myrwn pulls it back with the Dark Glaive. His Lyncas keeps the chase going down onto Elyoya. Humanoid taken down finally. MKOI keeping the extended fight in their favor. Myrwn finally showing up alongside Elyoya to bring home the fight.
It's an absolute mess, but MKOI are the kings of the chaos as they pick up 4 kills here with only Jojo and Supa dropping, and it's all off the back on Myrwn. He's in the back line. He's doing so much damage.
I mean, the thing that impressed me was this Taliya TP into the wall. Look at how much chaos it creates. A lot of the focus goes onto Lyncas at the start, but now Vitality's trapped in this choke point. Everyone gets involved in the skirmish. Jojo dies first. A 3-man knockup from Alvaro to set up for the rest of his team to follow through. Sets up for a beautiful fight from Koi, but the action's not over yet.
Carzzy? Oh, Elyoya's got nowhere to go. They just pop him. Second Drake set in the sights of Vitality. Just as we sing MKOI's praises, the fumble comes through and Vitality grabs yet another objective.
And gentlemen, this is delivering already for me. I wasn't sure who was coming in as the favorite into this best of 3, but I expected chaos and I expected action. And both of these teams, 7-7 in kills, 16.5 minutes in. We gotta love that.
And Viti, I'm still not sure who I think is the favorite. As this game is going back and forth.
They're just 1v1ing.
Supa just
Fleshy on the
fighting
way
to
in,
the
though.
death.
That's a fast bar. Supa doesn't have anywhere to go. He's forced to ult. Oh, his fate tempered.
Has he got him? Rockets?
Nako.
From down.
With a steel chair. Oh, they're WWE. It's absolute smackdown in the mid lane. Poor Supa thought he had the 1v1. You can't even fault him.
I mean, it's so hard. The timing was
coming
nearly
out of the-
perfect
out
on
of
the
the circle.
temper
Why didn't he
fade.
flash the
He should have flashed the
Bartle?
Bartle. He should have flashed the
Yeah,
Bartle.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But he didn't know there was going to be a Jayce
Yeah.
in the North Pole, lining him up under the targeting laser with drones to strike him down.
Here's the good news. Hey, Myrwn got a top tower. He's got a 1.3k gold lead over Nako.
And Nako wanted to lay down the gauntlet. He beat him last time. The question was, would he do it again? Humanoid wanted to try the same trick again. This time it did not work, and Jojopyun punishing him as the ulti goes wide, but the health trade's still favoring Humanoid. Guys, it's not stopping. You said you heard the song in your head for Fnatic, that you just got to keep fighting. I hear it now. Joey Valance and Bray, let's start a fight. Cue it up, listen to it. I cannot. The main lyric is, let's start a fight, and that's the story of this game.
Well, right now, it looks like things are going to calm down a little bit. Herald looks to be uncontested. There's a hand pushed back deep on the top side of the map. Taliya does have HP. For some reason in my head, Jojo lost a bunch of his HP.
I think he recalled, Viti.
Yeah, that's what I think. But he's still missing like a quarter of it.
Yeah, but sometimes you do that where you leave base but not full HP.
Okay.
Well, Elyoya here losing some HP.
Let's see how many more times we can say HP as humanoids.
Losing HP. Push back.
Oh!
HP getting lower. Alvaro taking even more of his HP, hitting him with the CC, and Elyoya is going to finish the job. A nice knockback on the crescent guard as Nako tries to find the flanking angle, but MKOI retreat well. Myrwn in the midst of the entire team, and Supa finds the extended range on the slow there, but MKOI don't really have any more tools to continue pushing in.
There's not even an objective, but we're just 5-man fighting here. Humanoid ends up going down. Elyoya is going to pick up that blue buff as well off the top of it. And they're going to get the bot crab, so quite a bit of gold here for MKOI.
I'm really hoping we can get a replay if it's possible, just because both Jojo and Supa used their flash, but I don't know.
Supa used his flash because he flashed away from Nako.
Okay.
Jojo, I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Because both of them used it, and I was like, weren't they the ones making the play? I felt like that there was no need for them, but I don't remember. Oh, we're going to find out. Let's look exactly at what they ended up committing the flash to. So it starts with Elyoya getting binded.
It's a long
He
binding.
loses that trade to Fleshy.
Q is a fraudulent ability. What the heck?
And then Elyoya's forced back. Alvaro saying, no, we can go for the fight. Jojo is there right behind him. Gets a nice flick back onto humanoids. And then Lyncas on the front line. Gets rooted up by the Bard ulti.
Yeah, I don't know where.
Okay.
That's completely reasonable. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So basically, both of them flash to try and kill Nako.
Yeah.
Good deal for Nako. Unplanned, but a good deal for Nako.
Okay.
Nako's tier, fully stacked. Carzzy, fully completed Muramana, upgraded. So Vitality still in a comfortable position in terms of how much damage they can deal. But MKOI with a small gold lead. I think Myrwn will be a problem if they can't contain him in the fights, but the Drake's still favoring Vitality.
So 20 minutes in, Dragons, as you just highlighted, in favor of Vitality, but I'm thinking about scaling. Naturally, Azir, Corki, good range, good poke, good late game. They also have a good front line, and they've got Nako on the Jayce, which means a lot of range, a lot of poke. Do you think they outscale Zaahan, Taliya, Yunara?
I'm actually not sure. I mean, I feel like the Mundo has a pretty good game.
Could be the difference maker, yeah.
Yeah, because it's not a whole lot of DPS from Yunara doesn't have percentage HP.
But I think the one playmaker who we've already seen make a ton of plays this game is Alvaro.
Yeah.
A good flash knock-up from an Alistar combined with the Taliya could just one-shot a
That's
carry.
true. I mean, they always have the outplay potential. I think Myrwn as well, if he gets onto the back line, he just wreaks havoc.
But on paper, we both kind of favor Vitality's comp if they were just allowed to play front to back.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Definitely feels like the case. I will also just advocate for Jayce very briefly, although I'm permanently skeptical of this champion. Once he hits like 3 items, we've seen a lot of Jayce games where he just finds a flank, one-shots enemy 80 carry, and the fight is just done. So room for either team, whoever can get the better vision control to maybe find that flank, whether it's Myrwn, whether it's Nako, or perhaps Lyncas.
I mean, I look forward to seeing what the community thinks if he's passed the Korean Jayce test.
Dash forward, again, another bar stun connecting. Supa forced to ult,
at the bow.
force the barrier. You see how much damage is coming through here.
MKOI have to drop this. Supa used the ultimate and got chunked. And Alvaro looking to base as well. They do have the TP on Alvaro, but I really think it's a mistake to try to fight this dragon without Yunara ultimate. But it looks like they want to try to go for it.
TP in. Myrwn spotted out on the flank. Humanoid going for the pushback, trying to kill it before the passing can come up, and it looks like they're going to get the job done. CC immune, the extra healing now coming in. Buys an extra second there. That's the Tempered Fate. Myrwn now dashing out.
It's a disaster tempered fate that saves Myrwn. And Humanoid ends up falling, and now the Drake looks to be favored for MKOI as Vitality still want to look to fight at 4v5.
Vitality already sent a Herald into the mid lane. A lot of pressure onto the tier 2 tower. If MKOI loses this fight, they're going to lose a lot more in the follow-up.
Myrwn's going to TP behind them.
Jojopyun waiting. Alvaro trying to find an angle onto Lyncas. Ulti coming through. Fleshy now trying to retreat, and it looks like Lyncas might just get taken out. The ulti finally popped in the extended fight, though they've already lost Alvaro. Supa continuing to auto, but doesn't quite have the ultimate yet. 8 seconds and ticking down before he'll be able to unleash his power. 9 seconds on Humanoid before he get back up. A flash out from Lyncas to keep him safe. MKOI secure the objective. Vitality know their time is up in this fight, and they need to get away. Myrwn ready, presumably with the pullback, but doesn't want to waste it as Nako off on the side. A
TP,
another
here it comes.
stun onto Elyoya. The extended fight starting to favor Vitality. Nako ready to turn things around. He's pushed Myrwn back. That's the ignite coming through. Vitality playing with their food, taking their sweet time.
Oh my god, Vitality are just playing with them. They're kiting them so damn well. Nako on the side with Carzzy as well, just playing the absolute limits of that play. They're going to pick up 4. They're going to get the Baron Nashor of the fruits of their labor.
I mean, the fight started awfully for Vitality. They had such a big health advantage, and then they fumble it, because Humanoid ends up in a situation where he's 1v1 against Myrwn. Myrwn goes over the wall, looking for a flank, gets spotted out, and Humanoid fully commits to the play. The Bard ult then saves his life at the cost of Humanoid.
Yeah, I mean, I think Fleshy really wanted to ult the Humanoid to buy time for his team, but Humanoid flashes the wall, so then he just ends up saving the Zaahan instead. But then now MKOI don't really know if they want to play for the Drake or if they want to play for the fight. Alvaro flashes in, tries to go in, but they don't have the damage to take down Lyncas, and then Alvaro ends up falling, and then finally they go back to the Drake. But then MKOI have this kind of false sense of security where they still feel like they're stronger, but they don't actually have the tools anymore with Alvaro being dead. So Vitality can just kite them out like this. Carzzy gets a big chunk onto Myrwn. Nako is playing on the side, gets some good damage, and then they get a stun on Elyoya as well, and they're playing it so nice and patient to torture MKOI and take them all down.
And honestly, they got the Drake. They managed to get it despite the split decision making at the start.
And
but
now
then
you
at the
stand up
end,
like Chronicle. What are you guys doing?
there's nothing I can say that's funnier than that. We'll just leave it at that. Yeah, they just got, I think, outspaced. Doesn't feel like a meme in that game. They just playing at the edge of their range. Myrwn, despite that gold lead, he was 1.2k ahead at the start of that.
Yeah, and the funniest thing is, I remember earlier in the regular season, I think it was week 3, Vitality played one of the cleanest games ever against KC, where they just played poke.
Sure.
And I was shocked by their discipline and control. And I'm starting to think that Vitality looks the cleanest when they're playing poke, long range, not engage comps?
Yeah, still very shocked by their discipline and control, though, I have to say. Also, random chatter who said Mundo becomes purple Thanos. Thanos is purple, my guy. What are you talking about? Just say Thanos. What? He's not extra purple.
Well, you got Baron Nashor now, so you could argue.
Unless he's paired with a Lulu.
Okay, yeah, you're right. All right, okay, fair.
All right,
I
well,
didn't think Medic was here, but let's get pedantic. Why not?
with the Baron, another tower is going to be secured. Vitality in the driver's seat. Koi, I mean, yeah, we talked about how it's difficult for them to find ways back into this game, and it ultimately comes down to that outplay potential that we've been talking about. Finding picks, finding a cool play. Alvaro is the guy that you're looking at. Maybe Elyoya can get a nice ulti to split up the fight. They have some playmaking potential. The question is, will Vitality give them that opportunity?
And I want to pick up what you said, Vetty, with the discipline that this Vitality roster has shown. While they've been quite inconsistent, they sometimes look like the best team in the world, and sometimes not so much.
They don't,
I think,
yes.
For me, it's all been about Humanoid and his addition to this roster. I feel like you can really see the macro, the leadership that Humanoid was touted as having in Fnatic, and how he plays the side lane, how he's able to just like always generate pressure. Like you see it right now, he's the one pushing in bot, while the rest of Vitality are buying space and time for him to have some pressure in this bot side jungle so that they can transition down to hit this tier 2. While a worse mid laner would just not push sides because he's like, oh, I need to be with my team, and not really know when you need to group, when you need to push that extra side wave to actually generate pressure and just give relief to your team in that way.
That said, Myrwn also left unattended. The focus across mid and bot lane does mean that he'll at least be able to get a plate. Nako feeling reinvigorated after that
Nako wants to fight.
Giant bag of money dropped into his pocket in the previous fight. Continuing to trade with Myrwn. Myrwn's still really
That's
powerful.
a
He's landed everything. Fleshy makes some gold. Nako is gonna go back in. Fleshy's also coming. Poor MKOI. They keep thinking they have 1v1s, and there keep being 3 members of Vitality. Myrwn, good healing, but it's just not nearly enough. Nako knock up mid-flight. Lynx is gonna grab the kill.
It just keeps getting kited. This Zaahan can't get the damage off, and he can't get in range of the crucial carries.
I like the cross map though from Koi, trying to get something back at the very least. Gold will be secured, closing that gold gap as much as they can. Of course, still astronomically in favor of Vitality. But the Dragon, now 8 seconds away. It is Koi that was able to get some deep vision on the bot side of the map. The resets will come through from Vitality. Nice passive tower placement from Humanoid in the mid lane to help assure that mid lane control.
I mean, with Myrwn being dead, this should just be a free Dragon for Vitality. And we look towards the next objective, Baron Nashor in 1 minute 30. That's really what MKOI need to find a better fight around. And you can see it in this game, the poke from Vitality is just so damn good that MKOI really needs a clutch engage from Alvaro. They need a huge wall from Jojo or a flank from Myrwn.
And there's a death cap for Jojo. If he lands his combo on one of those key carries, you can see how easy a fight could become. But again, getting through Lyncas' health bar has just become such a tall task. In an extended fight where they're just allowed to hit each other, yeah, Elyoya, Myrwn, they could do some work, but they're just not doing enough damage to stop him from body blocking all of that Taliya damage.
These are the type of plays we were talking about though. Does Humanoid sniff this one out? He's a little bit suspicious.
Is he a new man? This is the test.
This is the week 1 and 2, Humanoid would always die here. But the week 3 and 4,
week 3
has a support to cover him.
Well, also he respected before, so.
That's true.
Fair play. All right, Humanoid. I mean, objective proof of his development. Can the same be said for Myrwn? The TP
Double
collapse
TPs into
through.
the bottom lane. Myrwn thought he had an angle, and Nako also here. Myrwn getting chunked out. Just nothing that he can do. Now Jojo's caught in the midst of the team. Supa is on the way into Carzzy, but Jojo might be dead by the time he gets there. Supa's going to try and grab one, but I don't think he can take all 3. Just gets popped. It's a shutdown for Supa, but they lose 2 in the exchange.
Carzzy pops off. So much so that he creates a pause. My goodness, the damage from this man.
I feel like we need a replay.
We're going to need a replay. We were a little bit slow on the hot drop there. We thought we were taking it slow, dropping 6 houses. We went school.
It's very funny how the same situation played out, but it's a completely different result. I mean, you see here, it's the same thing. Like, this is before the chrono break. And this is when we come back into game again, where Myrwn has flashed or ulted away. Oh, was that the difference that he just ulted out?
No, the difference is Jojo arrives immediately. So that before, on the Taliya wall, he was further away from the start. This time round, though, he was there immediately for the play. So
and Carzzy tried to play it the same way. Did not work out. He ends up falling. Now MKOI have full control of this Nash, but they're not going to be able to start it up just yet. As Drake is spawning in 3 minutes. and MKOI just want to keep control of this
Yeah, I
Baron
really
Nashor.
thought that they would just force it, but I guess against Azir, they're still too afraid to force that objective. Death cap is very close for Humanoid, but again, let's take stock of the situation because that kill swung a lot of gold. There was a 5k gold lead to Vitality, now it's dropped to 4k. Well, that's still a pretty significant gold lead. Having that gold, helping Koi complete some of those items is very meaningful.
That it is, and with 2 minutes 40 seconds left, very likely that Supa will be able to complete that Infinity Edge before the next fight. Carzzy also likely will as well, and Humanoid has now finished the death cap. So not the most, or the biggest discrepancies, but we mentioned before, in terms of front to back, if Vitality aren't able to kind of outspace their opponents, stay at arm's reach, Supa, we do expect to be a massive carry threat.
Yeah, I mean, right now, MKOI has a crucial opportunity where Supa has Infinity Edge, Carzzy doesn't have it. I would love for them to try to fight around this top side before this Drake spawns, because when enemy team has 3 Drakes, fighting around Dragon always feels bad because all they need is 1 good smite. So I think starting up the Nash and looking to fight around it will be a good play from MKOI.
Well, it's Koi that has full control around this Baron for now. They're going to start the objective off. Jayce has the TP available in the bot lane. TP will come through from Myrwn. No information as of yet, and here we go. 50% HP.
Lyncas flash can just go over the wall, unstoppable courtesy of the passive. A portal set up there. 3k, they're trying to pull away from it. They want to hold it at 3k, try to bait them in. Jojo looking for the flick onto Nako. It's going to connect it. Nako, big chunk coming out, but Elyoya is going to start to get burned down. Tempered Fate buying a bit more time. Lyncas steps into position to body block. Alvaro over the wall, and it's Supa. All season starts to open up. Humanoid off on the side looking to 1v1 Myrwn. Don't know how this one's going to work out. CC immune now is Myrwn. Extra healing coming in. Humanoid fighting up a bit more than he could do. Does get the 1-for-1 in the end, but now it's Fleshy who's going to fall, and MKOI who turn right back to the objective. No flash on Lyncas. Still has access to the smite, however.
How different this game is turning out. Off the back of the CHRONOBREAK, Koi have the numbers advantage around this Baron. No flash available on Lyncas means that to get in range of the smite still is not going to happen. Koi, just like that, they've won the fight. They're securing the Baron, and the game has equalized.
And Koi completely turning this game around. Picking up the Nash here as we watch this replay. It starts off with a mistake by Nako as he wants to path around, and Jojo is looking for him. He's waiting for him, and he's able to find him with the Rylai's, get him down alongside Elyoya, jumping over the wall. Fleshy wants to buy some time for Nako, but Alvaro, really nice flash over the wall to get a 2-man pulverize as well. And then Humanoid off to the side, goes for the 1v1 against Myrwn, but it's not a 1v1. Supa's there to back him up, so that he ends up falling as well. Fleshy goes down.
Wow, their mental is so weak. What the?
Damn.
Well, I mean,
I would be tilted. I'm not gonna lie. I would be tilted. Like if I was Carzzy, I would be so tilted.
Well, regardless, he's right. You got to survive through it. MKOI starting to even things up, looking to grab a second trade for themselves. Vitality still can get some control of the mid lane, but it's Myrwn waiting in the darkness, hoping, fishing for a flank as Alvaro gets the fight kicked off into Lyncas, takes away the passive, dares him to come try to retrieve the canister as Elyoya locked up by the ultimate. Myrwn off to the side, but the dragon already getting taken down. Good flick back means an instantaneous kill onto Humanoid. Myrwn off on the side, 1v1ing versus Nako. CC immune now as Nako tries to get the hell out. Goes back over the wall, flashes away. A nice kill, gets tricky with it, but now Supa is here to turn it back and to get a kill of his own. Meanwhile, Alvaro in the midst of 3 as Elyoya tries to keep fighting, but the stun still connects. Carzzy now running. Flash, flick back coming through as well. Elyoya again finding another. Jojo the one to finish it.
it's turning into chaos as scraps happen across the rift, but Koi end up victorious. 3 kills for 2. They get themselves another dragon, and with the Baron buff at their back, they're looking to break open this mid tower. Supa had to go back to base to catch that top wave that was building up, but it's Koi that has swung this game in their favor.
And that synergy, that synchronization that we've come to expect from Vitality was not there in that team fight. Look at where Humanoid is after this Drake. It starts off looking pretty good, and then Vitality want to chase onto Myrwn, but Humanoid is getting flicked while that is happening because he's playing too far up while Vitality's looking for this play, and by that point, everything is starting to fall apart. Even though Nako tries to flash away, he ends up falling as well, and Carzzy, while he's able to take down Alvaro, he gets CC'd for so long that Jojo's able to reach him and take him down as well, and all the pieces are just fitting perfectly for MKOI right now.
I mean, it's almost like that when the fight is more broken up and it's these smaller skirmishes, Vitality just can't compete as Supa may have found Fleshy. That's a lot of damage.
Fleshy forced to flash the Mega Blast Cone to make it away, but things definitely not getting easier. MKOI, 14 seconds left on the Baron buff. Only a small gold lead. Not able to get more. Chemtech in 3 minutes. It'd be Soul for Vitality, Soul point for MKOI, but Vitality need to be careful. Play a bit defensive here. They don't have a lot of control over their lanes. Myrwn forcing in the bottom wave. Boy, slowly retreating from Vitality's jungle, but it looks like Vitality might want another fight. Tempered Fate connects onto Elyoya. They're trying to burn through Alvaro. Jojopyun laying down another Weaver's Wall. The flick is going to connect onto Lyncas, who gets pulled back by Myrwn. They're just in time. Fleshy, no flash remaining after the previous play. Nako waiting off the side. Fleshy dropping. Nako hoping to fish for a shock blast, but the fight already very much favoring MKOI. It's 2 members down on the side of Vitality.
It was a stomp for Vitality, a 6k gold lead, a game that was fully in their control, that fight after fight is going the way of KOI. They find that bot play, they find the Baron, they find another skirmish here on the top side of Vitality's jungle, and it looks promising for Vitality. They have the numbers advantage, but too much time is spent trying to kill Alvaro, and it ends in disaster.
And Lyncas is not tanky enough anymore. He was that damage sponge that MKOI couldn't get through, but now with Supa having so many more items, he's able to melt through them like butter. And Myrwn with the revive, they're not able to trade a return kill either. It's just, as you said, Vetty, it was a 6,000 gold lead, but not just that. 6,000 gold lead plus 3 Drakes. It's a situation that you love to be in, and that feels impossible to throw. But after that chrono break, Vitality's mental are shattered.
Yeah, Jojopyun arriving on time on the Weaver's Wall. The functional intention there. Much sooner able to turn the play black. Fleshy makes it over the wall. Carzzy, the rest of the team just holding on. Again, 1 minute and 30 until both those major objectives spawn. But Vitality, it's just going to be tough for them to get the time they need to set up around the objective, to lay down a bit of that poke before the fight breaks out, something that they very much had the luxury to do in almost all the fights we saw them succeed in.
Level 18 now secured for Carzzy. The experience pretty much evened out as we're getting closer to that 40-minute mark. Who would have thought how impactful that chrono break could have been? Remember that in the first iteration, it was 3 kills for Vitality for 1 with the Baron on the cards. This time around, though, the advantage going the way of KOI, and now they themselves have a gold. The gold, though, doesn't really matter this late into the game. If you kind of look at people's items, they're very similar. There are a few small discrepancies. The biggest one probably being GA on Supa means that he's going to be that much harder to kill.
Supa's up a full item.
It's a full extra GA.
Yeah, oh, actually, yeah, because only just now is the RFC.
Carzzy has a control word.
Yeah,
we appreciate the team contribution, but there's a whole extra item there.
Yeah, I mean, that is fair.
But we've seen the burst damage from the Corki, right, with the rapid fire cannon. If you find a good angle, again, killing Supa once might be possible. Getting both is a bit tricky. Luxury item for Elyoya as well with the GA of his own.
Well, now it's all going to come down to these 2 objectives, Dragon and Baron. Soul available for Vitality, but really they're just tools to force a fight, and the winner of the fight will likely win the game. KOI is the one that has position over Dragon initially. They get the push in mid. How can they gain access?
But remember that Vitality don't need to fight for this Drake.
That's
it's
true.
Soul for Vitality. It's not Soul for MKOI. So Vitality playing up, taking their time, trying to get that poke we mentioned before.
Yeah, Vitality should just try to hold Nash Vision here.
Oh, Alvaro uses Ghost after being slowed to avoid the Bard ultimate. He's able to get away to safety.
Supa is going to take the Drake in isolation, so now only a single objective on the map. Vitality don't feel comfortable enough to walk back into the pit. Catch out onto Lyncas. Flick back is there. Going to force an ulti. No, not quite yet from him. Hard Zapper enough for him to heal up, and Vitality taking their time. Have landed a lot of poke onto Alvaro. Brief window opportunity if they see him backing. Myrwn backing as well, but does have access to the teleport. An award behind them.
A 6-item AD carry is like one of the scariest things in League. They are designed to win games, and all eyes are on Supa. If Vitality can't deal with him, then he is just going to run rampant in these fights. The poke is so important, but I feel like the later into the game you get with a poke comp, the harder it becomes to play.
He has access to the wave, he has the lifesteal. You can see that an initial shock blast does a decent chunk, but not enough on its own as Jojopyun lays a wall down behind Lyncas. Lyncas does still have the flash, but wants to hold on to it as long as humanly possible. Knows he'll need it to get over the wall in the pit if he wants to contest. Humanoid poking with the Sand Soldiers onto Myrwn. Nice to have that damage, the healing reduction there as well. But he does pick up the Empowered Honey Fruit, so we'll just heal that right back up.
Oh my goodness. Both teams just kind of looking at each other
Well,
right
they
now.
forced the ult.
So it's a trade. Bard ult for Supa's ult. Alvaro getting a little low.
They wait for the ulti to expire. They're in a good position.
they
They
got
also
that
get
ulti gone.
Alvaro's ult. And again, this is the patience we praised them for earlier. Vitality taking their time. But now MKOI know that they need to get things started. 8K, objective getting lower and lower. Jojopyun on the way in, Elyoya on the way in, the objective secured, the portal out to safety. MKOI to try and collapse instantly. This is a hand in the midst of the entire team. Lincas is trying to get pulled away, but Lincas is doing a heck of a lot of damage back in return. Humanoid getting chunked out. Supa taking over the fight. They got the Baron, but they've already lost one. MKOI want more, but it's Vitality who walk away with the objective.
And Vitality, through patience, are able to pick up the Nash there. They poke Supa down, they poke Alvaro down, and they do that Nash so damn fast with the Azir and the Corki. And they finally find a comeback play to get back in this game. Now the question is, how can they use this Nash? They need to break inhibitors to break open this game to secure them soul as we watch this back.
With the amount of damage they have, they don't even have Carzzy hitting it. The Azir is enough to just melt through the Baron. They try their hardest to escape, but it's Myrwn that follows through, connects the ulti, gets a huge amount of health back, has the ulti to bring himself back to life as well. Humanoid kind of commits his life to do as much damage as he can, but I think it's a worthwhile trade overall for Vitality, getting away with the Baron, 4 members available, and now it's still 2 minutes until that Dragon. Wow, what a tense affair. What a game this has become 41 minutes in, and still, like, it all comes down to execution.
TP to the top side. One lane, all that's been set up by Vitality, and it's where they're going to group. They're going to leave Carzzy in the mid lane to try to force that wave in mid, while Nako, Humanoid, Lyncas, and now Fleshy as well take control of the top side jungle of MKOI. Tier 2 already down. Humanoid setting up a tower to protect their flank. They still have to be incredibly careful. While the Baron does put them in a favorable position, we know what Supa can do. If he's left unanswered in a fight, confident enough to even just walk up, go for the cheeky auto onto Humanoid, taking a decent chunk of HP as a potential pick in the mid lane. Fleshy, can he find the angle? Catches him on the wall. Jojopyun, a good flash away, hits the flick back onto Fleshy, and that might make all the difference. Fleshy caught out and taken down, stymieing the Baron advantage and giving yet another kill over to Supa.
That is all the difference. A really nice play from Jojo and Alvaro. Fleshy thinks he's the one that's caught Jojo out, but they're able to outplay. And this is exactly what Jack and I were talking about earlier. The outplay potential that KOI's comp has is there. The players have the caliber to do it. And just like that, the push is stopped.
That's the Baron Nashor gone for Vitality. They weren't able to break down the inhibitors. And you saw just how difficult it was in that top side, with Supa being so strong. He has so much wave clear, and Jojo as well. Now the question and the final fight of this game, most likely is all going to come down to this soul fight in 50 seconds. And both teams are aware of it, as you can see. MKOI are choosing to push through bot and hold position, while Vitality want to play through mid.
Vitality, not a lot of defensive vision set up around their bottom side as Supa and Alvaro bully them out, knowing the Baron fires in just a few seconds. That was the last wave where they had any real pushing advantage. Fading away now. MKOI know they're stronger in isolation as long as they don't really get poked out, chunked out, as long as they don't give those angle for Fleshy to find a creative use of the ult. Myrwn spotted on the sweeper means the Vitality will at least get a bit of vision down, but they have to be so careful about face checking.
I mean, there is death in that rush. You have to know, okay, there's the blue trinket, the spot said death out.
It's just hitting one, and again, it's soul for either side. Lyncas gets the combo, flick back connecting onto him as well. Just barely has time to push the ult, and that might be it. Elyoya force back as well. Weaver's Wall to split the team. MKOI immediately pull away and are going to look to start the Drake. The Weaver's Wall buying them a couple extra seconds to deny the initial setup. Poke from Vitality, not landing yet. Lyncas this time around isn't going to have access to the ultimate. Pull back on the Humanoid is good. Grim Deliverance from Myrwn, taking a lot of health in the back line, but he doesn't want to commit any further, and it might cost him his life because he doesn't get the passive. Flick back again, connecting on the Nako. Jojopyun popping off in these fights, but again, they cannot finish the kill. Carzzy still living. Elyoya trying to make the difference, and Jojopyun as well. The GA for Supa is massive. It's a triple for him. Vitality leaving before he can pick up the Penta, but they'll grab the soul.
And it's scraps and chaos, but MKOI are the victors of the team fight as they will pick up the Chemtech soul. 4 Chemtech dragons here, and it's just so back and forth. I don't know, this game is absolute cinema.
The fact that the GA was procced, in my opinion, was the difference maker. Supa does so much damage, but keep your eyes on Humanoid. Yes, Lyncas takes a lot of damage. He absorbs a lot of the pressure. Good initial opener to the fight for KOI. The wall is thrown down to add more pressure onto Vitality. No ulti available for Lyncas. But then watch Humanoid. He's worried. He's trying to do what damage he can. When the engage comes through, he splits off from his team, and that allows for Supa to go for the 1v1 on the top of the fight. Myrwn falls because he doesn't get the passive, but Humanoid is traded. And even though they have the numbers advantage, watch out how Supa trades his life to get the kills. Flashes in, Carzzy does what he can, Elyoya commits onto Carzzy, and Supa saying, no, I've got way too much HP, you're not getting out of this. Triple kills secured by Superstar.
Superstar. As he's come back in this game after a tough early game. He started this game 0-3. And now 12-4, 6,000 gold ahead of Carzzy. It's kind of just like, for fun. He's sold a few items. He sold his GA now for the shield bow instead. So he has the luxury to do that with how strong he is. He also sold the Fiend Hunter bolts for PD, actually. Interesting.
And past level 16, I guess the cooldown's low enough that he doesn't feel like he needs it.
Yes.
Powered autos as Myrwn finds an initial catch. Good bit of poke. CC immune now as he dives in, but forced to flash away a bit over eager.
So tense. I mean, the Baron is alive in 5 seconds. Let's look at what was used. Carzzy still has all the summoners. Humanoid had to flash away, so did Myrwn. There's a flash not available for Supa given the last fight. GA, I mean, that's just been sold by Supa. He's gone for more damage. Makes a lot of sense. Baron is alive, but it's Vitality that gain position. They're able to push out the mid wave and they move into the top river. TP from behind.
TP from behind. Could be big, not spotted quite yet. Taking their time, combo in. Myrwn on the flank. Fleshy looking for an angle to retreat. Elyoya going in onto Lyncas. Nako flashing over the wall. Auto attacking the blue. Definitely not what he wanted to be doing. As Lyncas is now running, but Nako is still living for an extra second. Flash out from Lyncas. Humanoid, no flash of his own. Has to be careful playing on the front line. Myrwn chunked, but they get the passive. A 2-minute cooldown. Something small to maybe give them a bit more help.
But you see the power of the Vitality team comp. They have such good kiting that they're able to survive the TP flank. But look at the summoners. Flash from Nako burned. Lyncas, Humanoid. I mean, all
gone, and they're all gone.
Are gone. And MKOI are starting up the Nashers. They see the blood in the water and they want to pounce.
Blink doesn't connect. This was the passive, but Humanoid hits like a truck. Temper Fate goes a little bit wide.
But the poke is back. The thing is, that fight was too extended. KOI stuck around. They need to wait for their cooldowns to find an initiation, because in the extended fight, it's Vitality's poke that wins out. Supa will heal back up.
TP there for Jojo. Supa will be full health. Well highlighted. Unbreakable will there. Flash is not. Locket also available for MKOI. A small difference, but it could be the one that matters. Fleshy pulled out of position. Elyoya going all in on the Humanoid. Gets the Emperor's Divide. Chunked. That's the GA gone. That could be the jungler dead if they have the immediate follow-up. Pushed back by the wall. They can't get over. They can't get into the ulti. Good wall. Good heads-up play from Jojo. Combined with the Crescent Guard keeps him standing.
But there has to be a Baron, no? Like, surely you just start this. The jungler has no HP. Even with the Chem Soul, it's not going to be enough. That's going to be an objective secured. They have the Bard to get out of there as well. That's going to be a Baron for Vitality. This game, no one will give an inch.
I don't know what we're watching, but it's very good. I like it.
We're watching some good League of Legends.
I mean, the thing is, in this type of game state, the one thing, as chaotic as it is, the mechanics on display from both sides are crazy. You're seeing some crazy outplays from both teams. Alvaro has had some amazing initiations, Supa's positioning. Carzzy, I want to know how much damage this man has done, because it has been so much.
He's even got the Hex Optics now, which is like,
yeah.
He's gonna have he's trying to outrange, which I respect.
And I'm just so impressed by the discipline and the patience that we're seeing from Vitality this game. We've seen them on the back foot now for the last, what, 10 minutes? And they're still able to find pockets and windows. They've gotten 2 Nashers now in a row while being down in gold because they're just able to outplay in teamfights and buy space and time so that they can finally get the objective.
And Jojo said, wow, mental so weak, but the mental strengthened up. They made the misplay and it feels really like they rallied. Yes, they've lost the soul, but they've secured the Baron. Is it going to do much for them? I don't think so, because they know that the Elder is what matters.
Exactly.
And that setup, again, this game has been about small differences. The GA, whether or not the Taliya ult could come through. The littlest things like flashes or Zhonya's cooldowns, or if the CC was layered perfectly. And the setup is going to be one of those things. As Alvaro is chunked out, and Vitality continue their siege in the mid lane.
Well, the Chem Soul does help provide those resistances when you're very low on HP.
Carzzy?
Carzzy. Whoa! Flash in. W3, Carzzy!
He's dead! The Elder's 45 seconds. That's a 70-second death timer on Carzzy.
It's a disaster for Vitality. MKOI are going to be looking to push down mid lane now. And Vitality need to find a miracle.
A disaster, I feel, is an understatement. Like, Carzzy, he stepped up way too far. Listening to the game, your game plan should be clear. Elder Dragon is what you're playing for, and then you've delivered it on a silver platter.
We might need a quick replay, but it feels like Elyoya hit him with the oldest trick in the book, which is stack the knock up on something and then just go in and knock him up.
Oh, Nako looking to try to find a miracle here, but Myrwn snips him out.
Good poke on a Jojo, and he's pretty fast with the Yomus.
He's
going to need to go on a
Does he have to TP?
merry journey. MKOI aren't going to take the bait, though. They know that they just need to focus down Elder.
I mean, the one saving grace for Vitality is MKOI are just getting the Elder. There's no Baron Nashor. Yeah, there's no Baron Nashor to pair it up with, and Vitality has great wave clear. If they're able to just maintain range, not give them an engage, they can still hold on and weather the storm. So the question for MKOI is, can you find that engage? Can Alvaro flash in? Can Myrwn get some sort of flank? Because that's what you need and want to do with this Elder Dragon.
Oh my goodness. I mean, in my mind, Elder is a way to end it. Let's look back. So what's he stacked? It's the wards. 2. And then Carzzy steps up.
Oh, he doesn't know.
Elyoya, what a beautiful play. Catches him completely off guard. He thinks the only thing he has to respect is the Taliya flick back. But Elyoya, it's that little differences. You were saying it, Dragos. The tiniest things can be all the difference. I feel like KOI just need to group and siege. They need to group and go and fight.
Yeah.
Easier said than done, right? The thing is, like, enemy has
just
a lot
run
of
it down. Just go.
Okay, we'll see. They can try to just run it down. We'll see.
There's been some run in this game.
Coach ready. Let's go.
Let's find out as Lyncas continues to drive in his car.
Some handle pipes on Lyncas as well. There's 2 of them. We're late into the game now. Items really don't matter. The gold really doesn't matter. Everyone's pretty much full build across the board. Even the supports.
I mean, Lyncas has to be really careful. Like, Elder's obviously...
There's a Morello on Fleshy. I just noticed that. Here we go.
Full items. Late game, full build. But the wave clear is there. You highlighted there's no Baron, so I think we go again. Like, I don't want to cast Curse it. I think we go again.
I think Supa needs to... Like, the thing is, if Supa had the GA, he could try to frontline again like he was doing before. But without the GA, it's a bit too risky to try to play too far forward. And now they're basing with 50 seconds. They're not going to end the game with this Elder.
And it won't surprise you that this is the longest game of LEC versus. The one before this was like 42-46. But reminder that we are competing against the Omega game of 80 minutes, which was like Rawcat versus...
It's Origin, I think.
Origin? Yeah.
It may have been. It's
Origin Fnatic. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
It's hard to keep track over the years.
Yeah, there's been so many. But that's because you're remembering the series, which when you cast it felt like the longest series of your life. In any case, can this go to 80 minutes? I hope for our voices it doesn't, because we still have more games after
content?
this. But for content, yes.
Because I don't know if you guys know this, but once you get past 60 minutes, the production team just doesn't care what you talk about anymore. We feel weird. They just accept it as table stakes for a game going 60 minutes.
This late into the game, the only thing to talk about is Baron and Elder. So every time that objective is taken, they're either fighting or we're waiting.
MKOI push wave. Someone eventually has to respond or maybe concede some gold, but the gold doesn't really matter. So unless you're threatening to end, they don't really care. So it's just who can get set up and who can get vision.
The
right now, MKOI have vision.
With the gold is records. How are we breaking any?
Yes,
we don't know yet, but we'll find out.
Well, and Elyoya still doesn't have flash for a moment, as he did use it to kill Carzzy. So in this tiny window of opportunity, perhaps Vitality could find a pick, but it's
unlikely.
So
many chimes or meeps following Bard. Oh my god!
Oh my god!
We
forgot about the Bard carry angle.
Look at the army.
100. 100. He's living the Bard dream. This is why he has the Bandle pipe. Bro's just gonna be hurling meeps at them.
Okay, here we go. You know when casters say they're excited?
Alvaro misses the initial combo. Immediately ults and walks away. That's pretty good for Vitality. That's
flash for flash.
Yeah, flash for flash, but it's Carzzy's flash.
But that's a crucial piece of engage for MKOI now down.
Absolutely is. And the poke is not stopping. Jojo already bearing the brunt of it.
Myrwn in the bottom brush. Nako a bit too far forward. Forced to flash early on in the fight. Now trying to turn things back. 10-bird bait stops the carries for a couple seconds. That could be big from Fleshy. The fight continuing to go. Humanoid going with all the Sand Soldiers. Really hasn't got any damage down yet, but Nako starting with the poke, connecting onto Supa. Vitality forcing their way into mid lane. The flick back just barely not going to connect on the Lyncas, and now his passive is up, and Baron is on the table.
Okay, so a couple ultis were used, but I think that Koi is still in a position to fight. Look at Alvaro, keep a track of the flank. TP comes
Carzzy.
back in for Nako.
Valk out, they know he has no flash. Flash forward from Jojo, good sidestep from Corki, but it doesn't look like he's safe. But he does 1-for-1. And in the meantime, the Baron is just getting completely shredded. Alvaro's trying to make the difference. 3K, Supa in the pit. The Lyncas is there, Lyncas has the smite. Myrwn's taking down Nako in the meantime. MKOI winning the fight overall. There goes the Baron. Blast code in, Humanoid trying to get something back, but they managed to take him down. They lose the objective, but they might have just won the game.
Fleshy blast code Humanoid into the arms of Koi. I think the game's going to end off that. That's their wave clear, dead for 70 seconds. They got the Baron, but was it worth it? Koi have 4 members. Super is still alive.
One man, 30 meeps in a dream. And a Mundo.
And Lyncas of Fleshy needs to pull out a miracle here. They need to try to clear this wave. They do have the Baron Nashor, but Lyncas with no ultimate.
Tempering the fate. Needs to stall them for 36 more seconds. Elyoya continuing to run in on the Lyncas. Lyncas doing a bit of damage back.
They are slowing them down, but
This game is over, but a part of me doesn't believe it. Fleshy trying to clear the wave as best he can, gives his life to clear a little bit more. MKOI will end it here. It might have taken 55 minutes. It might have taken a chrono break and some heroic flicks. But MKOI get there in the end. That is game 1. Just game 1 in this best of 3.
oh my god, what a bad